Okay, so I'm gonna start out with how do we align this, right? So we're gonna add a days ago and like, and then a replay or reply requirement underneath, um, and within this UI here, as you can see the avatar here, the comment, and then underneath here there should be that. And so here's how you quickly access these things, right? You go to expression, or actually, you know what? It's already here. So you just have to click on it. In fact, maybe you should hit control on your keyboard. Hit control on your keyboard and click on this. Actually, that didn't work. If you go to expression and you try to find your piece of code here, this is the rule that we're trying to call. This is the interface rule that is nested. The interface rule inside. It's called IC underscore comment and reply is directly underneath IC underscore image comments. So if you hit control, hold down control on your keyboard, hold down control on your keyboard and click on this rule IC comment and reply. Boom. Then it pops up in a different window here, allowing you to access it quickly, right? So you say hi, the comment here, the value, this is actually a rich text, and then you can go to edit mode if you want to. And you kind of see that, hey, look, what does this actually look like, right? And so you got a column here and also a column over here. So this is actually a columns layout. So you got one column over here and one column on the right here, right? So you got one column here, one column here. Um, you kind of tell. Mm, Go to list the columns layout, go to list of components, and then you have this card layout here. Maybe what you want to do is you want to add a section to this right here. I don't know, however you want to do it. This multiple is there's almost no right way of doing this. You can decide to do this however you want, right? So you could either do a side by side or you could do an additional column layout here. So we can try a side by side. Side by side is more limited. Okay. So you can't really see here. Control Z. This instead of a column, instead of oh, instead of a side-by-side layout, let's just throw in a column so it's a lot more clear as to what we need. So go back to the requirements here. We have days ago, like and reply, right? So we could do according to what Facebook looked like. It just depends on how you want to do it. But normally you do a rich text link, right, into each one of these. You kind of say as reply, and then this one is also rich text, and then this is also rich text. I think so. Let's try to modify this to look. No, this is not entirely uh this is not entirely like icon. This is there's a thumbs up here, right? This takes playing around, right? You can't really um you can't really just get it right the first time. You're gonna like play around with it, you know. So let's see here. Just do medium plus text, and then at this point, all we're doing is we're just trying to get it as close as possible to the thing, the real thing. Yeah, we're just gonna say 2 days ago, something like that, right? And I guess what we could do is we probably messed up on this. Let's copy this columns layout here, delete it, and then so, go to the expression rule here. Uh, this is a columns layout, right? So you got columns layout here. What we should probably do is add a what do we have here? Columns layout. Okay. Well, we could potentially set the width to narrow. But in order to set the width to narrow, you gotta go inside of a column layout, which is fine. So we have it right here. So come in here, we'll do a width here, and then we'll do a narrow, extra narrow, right? Let's see how that looks. Boom. You know, that's closer than what we had before. So let's go here, let's go here, and um, let's see. So you got 2 days ago, thumbs up and reply, right? They're not like entirely aligned. Align vertical, perhaps maybe we have to adjust our line vertical or something. Center. Maybe this is middle instead, right? Middle. Yeah, middle. So that's a little bit better, right? So maybe within each one of these we have to center it, you know? Maybe this, we just have to align it and call this center, right? And then go to each one of these and center it. Ideally, I think maybe this is only narrow, right? Well, extra narrow is fine, I guess. Label position is collapse. This one, we have to do the same to this one here. So center, right? Now, you know, the text is centered, but the columns layout is still, maybe you have to adjust the spacing, you know, because you click into here, you maybe just dense, or let's try none first. Is none by default? There it is. So that's a little bit better. So if I put dense, see what this does. Now if I put none, see what this does. Dense and none. Prevent wrapping. Maybe this is something that, especially for this one, we'll do this one here. Oh wait, there you go. So, I mean, you know, maybe it could be a little bit wider. Prevent wrapping. Let me see here. Help tool text. Prevent wrapping. Margin above. Um, prevent wrapping. 2 days. Maybe we adjust this to be narrow instead. Hopefully, and see, that's kind of messed up there. Maybe, I guess what we can do is we keep it at that, and then we can keep prevent wrapping like just like that. This is a little bit better than before. But perhaps maybe we need to put this inside of a card layout. Right, so maybe do a card layout here. And perhaps maybe doing this will make it to look better. So show border true, and then we want to go to shape, and then what do we call this one? Shape, and then we go rounded, right? And then how about that one? And then we go to content, so we add a content here, right? And then we just open this up and then paste the rich text in it. So as you can tell, okay, something's wrong here. Columns layout, oh, we should, the missing expression column layout parameter line 3. So, comma in here. There we go. Contents. If you name it wrong, you get this yellow invalid parameter contents. There you go. So it's a little bit better. Let's try to turn this on to see what this looked like now. No, that's even worse. So maybe we let's say false here for now. 2 days ago, you know, maybe we just copy this entire card layout and then we just paste it in here, and then we just replace this one there. It's easier to just copy and paste because you know the code is reliable, right? So this still doesn't look good, but we could definitely clean this up, you know. So you could say this card layout here. We can say columns show win card. We can say this one has maybe there's a margin above and below this that we have to adjust here. 0 and then none, right? And then margin below, there's none as well. It still doesn't look that good. Preferably, like all of these should label position, justified, default, justified, okay, collapsed. Margin above, none, none, okay. So yeah, this is kind of interesting because then we get into a situation where, you know, we have all these. We could definitely learn to build these cards better, and perhaps maybe let's play around with it like this. Maybe 2 days. That still doesn't look good. So border is true. This is card layout here. Padding. Well, the padding does nothing. Margin. So we've been setting the margin of the rich text. Now let's do it for the let's do it for the card layout. So even this doesn't do anything for this. So none. Okay. So I mean, as long as it serves the purpose, you know, we could always come back and refine it later, right? So let's go down here. Let's not waste too much time on this. I'm just gonna copy this card layout here. I'm gonna leave these so that you know we know that we attempted it before, and sort of copy paste this and then take this trusted. Boom. Paste this. And this still doesn't really look that good. Interestingly enough, we could always try a side-by-side layout. In fact, you know what? Let's do that. Let's try a side-by-side layout. So let's suppose that we got this thing here. We're going to copy and paste here. But inside of here, let's not use these columns. Let's do a side-by-side. Maybe a side-by-side will always align better. Side-by-side layout, and then we got perhaps we need to add items and then okay. Actually, you know what? Columns. We can't have a side-by-side layout inside of a columns layout. Columns layout are only for columns. So items, and it says here that we have to use this one as a side-by-side layout here. So basically, we use a list of these, right? Boom, or bang, boom, side-by-side, item. Okay. So says here side by side list of accepts this. So one of them is this, right? Another one is, so we're planning to have 3, boom, boom, right? And then we have an item here. Let's do item, and then an item can be one of these, right? We're gonna have a card layout here. And we're just gonna try this out to see what's going on. So instead of a card layout, right? It's very picky too. You cannot really have the item in index one contains the component is not supported by side-by-side layout. So what the hell is supported by side-by-side? Are you saying that I cannot have this? And what about rich text? Okay, so you can have a rich text in here. As you can tell, this is really picky, right? So notice that we got side-by-side layouts here. What we want to do is we want to adjust the width of this. So we're going to say minimize. That's probably the smallest. Right. And let's adjust these two here. Okay, so sort of just right off the bat, things look like they're turning out to be a little bit better. Just keep in mind you can't have a card layout, but if you wanted to ensure that all of your components don't wrap, right? So, well, okay, so now this is kind of interesting. So let's do this down here. Let's see here. Okay. Let's just do a reply here. Okay. So now you still have this. So what's interesting is cite the rich text here. They don't have a save into. So rich text is mainly for display. Right? So I mean it's got a value for very wrapping. say for example, what I really need is I really need a link field. Let's try this. Actually, you know what? It lets me have a link field here. So what I want is a dynamic link, and I want the value to be testing. So you can't have uh, you can't have this. So imagine if I had 2 days ago. 2 days ago is fine. Reply in like. This right off the bat looks a lot better than what we had before. We know for sure like we're gonna need a thumbs up. You know, we are going to need a thumbs up, right? So dynamic text. We have label here. Uh, instead of a instead of a dynamic or actually a link field, you can specify the icon, right? So or dynamic field. It says here, to find a link that triggers updates to one or more links can be used in charts, grids, images. Oh, okay. So milestones and rich text. So you can actually have a rich text here, like how we had before. And say, for example, oh, rich text can have links, right? So link. So let's suppose that you have this link here. Boom. Link. Process link, save link, dynamic link. That's good. So link, rich text can have a link field. So link field here, reply. So the only issue in here is that we only have links and then a dynamic link. Let's just do a label here for now. Just to, I think it's complaining about this guy here. Let's just do a just testing label here. 137. Side by side. Okay, so expression evaluation rich text icon. Oh, so oops, we're as an invalid link value for link. Support links or authorization links. Dynamic link. This is a dynamic link. So perhaps maybe we just specify this directly here. Yeah, we have to specify this directly. So normally we use a link field, but then because this rich text uh, is it allows you to call a function that is at a deeper level other than link field. Right. Notice that now these are looking a lot better, right? And say you also have let's say that let's say for days, right? Let's just do this here. And okay, so this is looking a lot better. This doesn't have to be a link field. This can just automatically be a rich text field, right? So we could do a rich text field here and just say 2 days ago. And then we can close this off. This is still not aligned. It's kind of annoying. Let's see here. Minimized. Rich text here. Aligned. Let's get rid of this alignment to see what's going on here. Label position. Align as center. Value. Show when. Prevent wrapping. Margin above. I don't know, man. Margin above, should I put this as like none? Is it looking a lot better here? None. Not entirely. Right, maybe this side by side has one aligned vertical. Boom. True. Maybe this is middle instead. Oh, there you go. There it is. So as you can tell, like we went from all of this down to side by side now. The capability to trigger a few things here. Now, let's delete this. So as you can tell, if you see me fiddling around here and I click on this, that's me trying to find the opening of this green parentheses here. Look, go up and I see green here. I know. I hit Shift and I click on the end of this because my cursor is already down here, right? So I'm navigating here. Boom, right there. I click on here and then delete. Boom, delete that, right? So we kind of have something here. It's not entirely, we still have to, like, whenever I click on testing, or actually this is supposed to be the word reply. Whenever I click on reply, um, actually, you know what? Sorry about that. This is supposed to be like, this is supposed to be reply. Okay. So we have this configured here slightly. Let me see what we're doing on time. This is already 28 minutes here. So as you can tell, well, we start out with like columns and it didn't work out. We left it on the screen and then because we felt like maybe we still need it. So as a developer, you know that you're gonna have to play with stuff on the screen. You're never gonna get it right the first time. And so that's just the nature of this whole thing, right? You have things on the screen. It's like painting. It's kind of like painting. You have things on the screen. You don't want to take it out because then you lose that. You don't want to commit yet to it either until you have the entire thing, like until you have a working prototype down here, right? So you still need to drag things from the old column layout down here to the side by side layout. All of these things, right? So for example, we might even be able to move some of these things. Yeah, so things that are not used, just you try to remove it and try keep it as clean as possible, right? So that you don't get confused later on. So perhaps maybe reply here. Okay, so let's save this. Forget about what I was gonna say. Let's save this. Let's now go back to the main interface and hit test. Boom. Test interface and boom. So you get a bunch of Yeah, comments here, you have the ability to click on reply, and you also have the ability to like. Um, so because of our time limit here, we're just gonna end it here. And next video, perhaps maybe when you click on reply, it opens up something down here. Well, I don't know. Maybe we might just work on the like, you know. But again, we don't have the data structure to support the like yet. Well, and yeah, so we'll see what we work on. We could limit the number of comments too that we have displaying on here, right? Um, yeah, so it really depends on what we want to do next. So this, we know for a fact that with this image here, there's this many replies, right? Perhaps maybe we look at like, is this a reply to this? And notice that comment 4 here. This is reply to comment 4. Well, this should be further to the right, right? Comment 5 and reply to comment 5. These two should be further to the right. Um, so we have to, perhaps maybe that's something that we can achieve. Let's take a look at the data structure first to see what we're dealing with here. So because it's replying, sometimes you have to turn on um, that much data. You have to turn on a ton of data and expose a lot of data for you to even be able to see what it's trying to output. So in other words, we may do something like this, or actually do something like this, and I understand this is text, so maybe we might have to convert this to text, to string, right? Actually, in the comments, first one field relationship. See here, we already, well, we can't go too far with this. So comments here, I know that this record, oh, sorry about that. I can just do this. And I can just convert this to string. And we'll see. So here's got comment text, but then that's not enough information for us to use this. But if I click save, oh, it's only returning text because this is only a simple test case here. Actually, you know what? We have to be able to display this, but it doesn't have to be like this. What we could do is we could copy this and we just do for testing purposes, maybe we do a label here, right? And we just do this. Text can only be, I'm gonna comment this for now. Yeah. Let's see what this looks like. Oh, this is not going to expose the data. So we have to find a way to expose this data here so that we have more information to work with, right? Oh, actually it does. It does expose it for now. So let's go back here, test. So, okay. So as you can tell, what we're doing is we're exposing a lot more information here. Just so that we know that, so that we have some context as to what we're dealing with, you know. Eventually we remove this, and then, when we're done, we remove this. But as you can tell, some of these, some of these, actually, you know what? Let's go back to turn this on, right? And then we're just going to do a record type here. I see comment dot text, right? There we go. I'm just going to save this. And then let's test this again. Test interface. Then we'll see this, right? We'll see a bunch of test data up here. And comment 2, this is this time here. So, we could quickly calculate this days ago, if we wanted to. Created by user. Um, parent type. So this is directly replying to the image, as you can tell, right? So what we could do is we can say if parent ID exists, right, then move to the right, right? So move to the right. So, but still, that doesn't really that can do it. So say for instance, if we wanted to, we can say on here, oop, oop, we can say, okay, so I want to move this to the right. Okay. So I might just say, what? I might just add a separate column here. I might just say, we're going to use some trick here. We're just going to say contents and then do an empty. See what this does. Boom. So it moves it to the right, too far to the right though. So we're going to have to adjust the width of this and say extra narrow, right? Actually, you know what? Oh, this is supposed to be outside of here. I'll modify this. Wait a minute, it's already here. All right, what am I doing? Oh, okay, sorry about that. Boom. Well, bullcrap. Oh, there we are. So we could just do a show when, right? Remember show when? We could just do a show when this field a big is not null or empty. Do this, and then we can just go. What field were we talking about earlier? So the field that we were talking about earlier is actually the parent ID, right? So we're saying if this parent ID exists, then that's when we show this empty column here, which is going to push all this to the right. Let's save this and let's go back and hit test. All right, boom. See, as you can tell, things are kind of like looking like it should. A little bit more now, right? So like you can get more advanced than this, right? But I don't know if our data supports it, right? Well, I think it does because then you can have a reply to this one as well. So you can kind of tell like things are coming along. Sometimes you have to expose the data so that you don't keep everything inside your head, as an artiste, as a developer. So that's it for this video, and yeah, so that's it.